Welcome in to sportsbookreview.com. This is the College Football Show. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And we made it. That's right. That's right. It is officially a football Saturday. Now, there were a lot of things over the offseason trying to figure out, hey, are we actually going to have football or not? Hey, we've already had 3 actual live college football games, and we got a few more today. It's not a normal slate. But either way, we'll get into that here momentarily. Do us a favor. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're going to go live at this time every single Saturday for the entire college football season. It is going to be an absolute blast. Hopefully, you guys will stick around with us. Make sure that you like this video, share it out, tell your friends about it, and jump in the chat. We've already got Tori Coker in. He said, "What's up, fellows? Can't wait to hear from you guys and win big. I put $1,500 in my account just for this day." I don't know that I would recommend that for today. But, hey, to each their own, whatever you feel like doing, right? So if you feel like spending $1,500 on these games, that is up to you. But we are going to have fun with it regardless, one way or another. But, yes, share the show out. Tell your friends about it. NCAA football over at sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Chris, how are you feeling on this fine football Saturday?
Man, we got a little crisp in the air here in the Memphis area. It's not super crazy hot. It feels like a football weekend.
It really does. It's 73 degrees outside.
I know. I woke up this morning. I went to work a little bit and tried to get some things done before I got home to do the show and then to watch some football. And man, I just felt like this is what the world's supposed to be like right here.
Yes,
this is what life is like. Football in the fall.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
it is an absolutely beautiful thing. And we have got some beautiful games today. It wouldn't normally be a beautiful slate, but hey, any football right now we feel pretty good about. Justin Payne said, "Let's go." Zay Ross said, "Hey boys, I'm the guy that bet 37,000 on Kay Hansen. Been rocking with SBR forever." That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
30,000. Hey, cheers to you. Justin said, "Do y'all like Army minus 3.5?" You know what? Stick around for just a little bit. The show's only going to be, 20, 30 minutes today. Yeah, we're going to get to all of them, and that is one of the early ones. But first, let's go ahead and dive into this slate, right? So we got Eastern Kentucky and Marshall. We got Army, Middle Tennessee. We got SMU, Texas State. We got Houston Baptist, North Texas, Arkansas State, Memphis, Stephen F. Austin, and UTEP, and BYU at Navy. Now, we release our official pick show on Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Eastern. And we do that live, and we give you our early slate. We go ahead and bet games early. This season, however, it might be smart to just kind of wait right up until game time and even do some live betting. So all of the different spots over at sportsbookreview.com where you can find these different sports books, find the odds that you like and roll with those. But it might not be a bad idea to wait around and see what's going on to see if somebody tests positive, if things are going, a little crazy. It might be smart early on to do that. So now we're going to make picks on Tuesdays, and we're going to kind of give you some leans on days like today. We'll let you know what we're thinking. How's that? I'll go ahead and tell you this. Our official picks already, Chris gave out Army minus 3. I did the same. Chris gave out SMU minus 21.5 earlier in the week, and I gave out the under 70.5. Now, those lines have obviously shifted a little bit. I gave out Arkansas State plus 19 and the under 74, and I gave out Navy plus 1.5. Now, let's go ahead and dive through all of these. Let's see. Justin jumps in. Let's see. C. Oliver said, "Let's go, guys." Yeah, we got a good contingency jumping in here, and that is what I'm talking about. First game up today at 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, the big channel. You got Marshall hosting Eastern Kentucky. That is rotation 249, 250. Marshall is a 22.5 to 23.5 point favorite right now. That one opened at 24.5 on Thursday. Now, I said earlier in the week, typically we're not going to get lines on these games.
Yep.
But because there's so few games, they are going to toss a line out here on it. The advanced analytics on this game have actually got Marshall supposed to be favored by 31.6. So there is some value here, but it opened at 24.5 and it has been bet down. Hey, Chris, give me your thoughts here. I kind of like Doc Holliday and Marshall here.
Well, you know how I feel about these opening games. You got a lot of what I think are a couple of good teams playing a bunch of FCS schools are bad teams. I love Marshall. I think they're going to be really good this year. I think they got a chance to win their division, compete for a title in that conference, and so I'm gonna ride with them today. I hate chalk. I hate big favorites. It's one of the things I despise. Opening weekend, it's kind of where I'm leaning all night.
Oh yeah, and so typically, especially opening weekend, I'm all about dogs. But in this spot, it is under a key number of 24.
If you can get it under 24, which you can pretty much get anywhere. Yeah, that's a big deal.
And so, now we have seen this bite us before. Obviously, we saw it tonight with UAB, where UAB should have absolutely hammered Central Arkansas. And when you give up drives of 0, 4, and 15 yards,
it's not what you want.
And that's I don't think that's going to work, And then it turns into a 45-35 ball game that gets a little squirrely. You should have won that game by 4 touchdowns. Instead, it is what it is.
The problem is the team on the field that's just trying to get the W is in no danger of actually losing the game. And that's where the big numbers get scary is they still got a 2-score lead or a 3-score lead. And they're not sweating anything. And you're laying, basically 4 scores. You get a little antsy.
Yes, you most certainly do. Eastern Kentucky went 7-5 last year. Their only losses outside of the FCS were to Louisville, and that was 42-0.
Yeah.
So everything else was basically a 1-possession game.
That's right.
But yeah, Eastern Kentucky, not a bad football team.
No, not at all.
Marshall is a really good football team.
I do too. They just my fear is, are they going to come out and play sloppy? Like we've seen in the first couple of games that we've seen so far.
You are correct.
Bad football.
A Parlay King 513 jumps in. He said, "What's up?" Bald Cash said, "Let's eat." Let's absolutely do that. Let's talk about the bigger game for the noon slate. That is at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. I think this is the one that a lot of people are interested in. That is Middle Tennessee State at Army, rotation 241 and 242. Army currently a 3.5-point favorite. Now, this is kind of danced around a little bit, right? It opened at 4. It went up a little bit. It came back down to 3. That's where we both grabbed it on Tuesday. And then it jumps back up today, and it's sitting at 3.5. I still feel pretty good about this. I mean, Army has got Jabari Laws, who I am in love with. This kid is an absolute superstar at quarterback. But he was in the back. He was the backup last year. He wasn't going to be the starter. But I think that he has a chance to do some really, really big things. People think that Middle Tennessee State's roster is so much better than Army's. And if you really just look at the recruiting and whatnot, obviously you're going to get that, right? But that's not the case here. Tell me what you were talking about earlier with these the Naval Academy and the cadets and whatnot.
I'm big on Army today. I said it Tuesday. As long as this is under a touchdown, I like them. That gives you a lot of room for this line to grow, and it hadn't at all. Pete Thamel came out and with a report that said all of the Naval Academy, the Army Academy, all of the military academy schools have been shut down for COVID. And so normally they only have so much time to work out football-wise, not just the 20 hours, but actually getting bigger, stronger, faster, conditioning. That's not drills or functional military strength kind of stuff. But they've been shut down for COVID. So all of the football teams have been working out nonstop for the last 3 to 4 months on functional football strength, not functional running, laps with a pack on strength. It's just a different kind of endurance and getting your body ready. And I kind of think these are the guys that are going to be less apt to play sloppy than everyone else. It's my trust in our military system that these guys are drilled. They don't usually play sloppy football anyway, even though the other teams are far more athletic than them and bigger and stronger than them always because of the weight and size restrictions to be in the military. It's just one of those things where this is one more year. I will probably be loading up on military academies all season and just take my chances until the bookmakers come up with better numbers. I'm just going to see how burned I get. But right now, I liked Army as long as it stayed under 7 Tuesday. I like Army right now, and I don't know that anything could change between now and game time, other than a couple of key players just get reported that they're not going to play. I don't think that's happening.
I don't think
we'd know by now. So I'm all in. That's my big play today is Army.
It's Robert S. jumps in. He said that line is too low. MTSU not as good on D, and they have a new offensive system. Army. I don't think
they can stop the run. And if you can't stop the run, you can't beat Army. You can't keep it close with Army.
Agreed. Yeah,
your offense doesn't matter because your offense is going to be on the bench the whole time.
Yes, their defensive line is not good. We talked about that on the show on Tuesday. It's just not good. In MTSU, they've still got the same offensive system. Yeah. They've still got Asher O'Hara, who can be a star. He can absolutely be a star. But he doesn't have any weapons around him. Tony Franklin is the OC there. And I mean, he came up through Auburn and all that. He's been around for a while. He understands spread principles and all that. He's kind of a guru at it. They've had the same offense for a little bit. It's just that they don't have any weapons. They don't have a great foundation of a team. They went 4-8 last year, and you wouldn't think that Rick Stockstill and that bunch would continue to decline here. But Jeff Monken went 5-8 last year for Army, and I don't expect them to either. This is kind of which team is going to get out of the rut first, and I think it's going to be Army here, especially because of MTSU's defensive line.
I'm worried. MTSU, it's not the playmakers' ability on offense. It's the opportunities that they're going to get on offense. When you play Army, you basically take your normal set of snaps and you cut them in half. And if you don't convert and make the opportunities that you get worth it, you're going to get beat because you're just not going to have as many opportunities.
Yes. No, you're exactly right. Exactly right. Quincy jumps in, said Army's going to run it down your throat. Yep, that's right. Quincy also said get money today, Memphis first half. And Mr. Mississippi Razor Made Money said Memphis team total over. I love it. Yeah, I could get with that. I could get with that. Kurt Gray said MTSU plus 3.5. Hey, you do what you do, brother. We are just here to spread our information. We just telling you what we think. Let's dive into this next game. This is the 4:30 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPN. It's going to be the big one. SMU at Texas State. That's rotation 239-240. Texas State, not real good. Not real good.
This number's jumped a lot, though, and that worries me.
It opened at SMU minus 20.5.
Yep.
And it is currently, I'm seeing them pop up now, 23.5 to 24.
24. I'm about to say it's as big as 24 in some places. That worries me. It's 64% of the bets, according to SBRodds.com, that are on SMU. Texas State, not great. Jake Spavital, I like him as a coach, but there just ain't a whole lot to work with down in San Marcos. I don't like how big this number has gotten. I don't either.
But if you look at what the proposed thing, so we use this thing called Prediction Tracker. Right, the predictiontracker.com. It gives you like the analytics and whatnot, what the advanced analytics would predict in these games. And they have actually got SMU, let's see, on average, minus 17.69. Now, I don't know that I don't always trust analytics.
Well, no, you can't.
But
if they were right 100% of the time, these books would never make money.
Oh, exactly. Fernando said first half SMU. I would be more apt to play a first half line than I would be lay the big number, because I think they could get out early and then slow it down. Now, you and I talked about this the other day about whether or not Sonny Dykes, the SMU head coach, would ever actually hit the brakes. And I said that I thought that he would. I took I took the under for the game, which is currently sitting at 73.5 or 74, depending on the book. Make sure you go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF and go get your odds and figure out which book is best. But I took the team total under 74 on it. Now it opened at 68.5. The total
opened at 66.5.
Sorry, it's sitting at 69.5. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. I was looking at Memphis.
Yeah, that's okay.
But 69.5 is where it sits right now. It opened at 66.5. I got it at 70.5. I thought that it would go under because SMU was supposed to play at TCU next Friday. That game has been postponed. So they have got a week off after this game. And I think that they might just come out and lay the wood and just keep scoring. Just get as much practice in as they possibly can. Tell me what you think here.
I thought they would cover, and I think I had them a Tuesday night at 22 and a half. It was over 21. It was over a key number. As long as it's under 24, I think I like it. When it gets to 24, which is where it's at a couple of places, you still find it at 23 and a half. I start getting worried. I don't like that it's grown that much. That's a lot of line movement. Okay. A point, half a point, point and a half gets a little iffy. You get up to a couple of points and I start getting a little worried, just because at some point in time, it's not a matter of is he going to take his foot off the gas? It's a matter of, is this the year we really need to work on depth? Is this the year we really need, okay, we've got a 3-score lead or a 4-score lead. Let's put backups in, because if somebody goes down with COVID, we still need to be able to know, can the next guy step up? And that is inside my brain right now, and it makes me a little worried. I don't think Sonny Dykes is ever going to take the breaks off. I told you I didn't care if they were playing Alabama the week after TC or after this game. He doesn't have a vanilla playbook. Vanilla doesn't exist in his list of flavors. It just doesn't. I've watched this man coach for just too much of my life to know he doesn't let his foot off the gas. But will he change players out to make sure, okay, if we hit a catastrophe and we can't postpone a game, when we just got to play without a key player, then I need to make sure these other guys have reps. These are the games you're going to want to do that in.
Oh, most certainly.
And so that's the reason you sign these games, the reason you schedule these games. And that's the fear I have with this number growing as much as it's grown.
See, that's like betting on Texas State in this spot is you're basically betting for a backdoor cover.
Backdoor cover. That's it. I think they're going to get the hell beat out of them. And then at some point in time, do they get let up? We have
almost got 100 people watching us live right this second. So
thank you so much.
We appreciate you guys. Make sure you go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. We do our shows on Tuesday nights at 5:30 p.m. Central, on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central, and we're going to have an opening line show on Mondays. So hopefully you guys will continue to check that out. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and all that. You can follow us on social media, by the way. I am at Gary WCE on Twitter.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Yeah, so you can follow us, and we will post our actual record of the picks that we made on Tuesday over there. So you can follow us and hang out with us all season. It's going to be a good year. Let's dive into the night slate. We have got some fun games going on tonight, and typically we wouldn't think anything about these games, but these could end up being really fun to watch. If you just like watching football, these are right up your alley. Houston Baptist at North Texas. Typically wouldn't think anything about it, right? But rotation 251, 252. This is the 7:30 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPN Extra. You can watch it on the app, or if you've got certain cable packages and whatnot, it'll be on there. With that said, North Texas currently minus 23. This one opened at 27.5, and Houston Baptist is not good. Now,
if you want Houston Baptist, you can find it at 24.5.
Yeah,
it ranges from 23 is the lowest you're going to find it. Most places are 23.5, and you can get it at 24.5 if you want the dog.
Bet Online has got 24.5. Yeah. I would lean North Texas here. Now, again, the analytics. By the way, we had another guy jump in. Robert S. said, analytics, humans play and referee the games. LOL, people tend to forget that sometimes when using analytics. Absolutely. You got to pay attention to these things.
Me and Robert get along real well. We're gonna get along just fine this year, because I don't like any of these numbers.
Oh yeah. Hey, Michael Jordan jumped in. Hey, the GOAT, what's up? TCU canceling next week's game. SMU is going to go balls out. Justin said LFG. Let's go. ZZ Dina said, I have no idea what to bet. I'm going to ride with you guys. Army -4. Yeah, absolutely. And then they said, is there an NBA show today? Yes, that will be in about 40 minutes. So we'll be out of here in plenty of time. No worries. But yes, so Houston Baptist, I don't think Houston Baptist is very good at all. They are not a good football team. And North Texas, like Seth Luttrell fired his staff last year. He is going back to calling plays. They've got to figure out their quarterback situation. I think they're going to be okay today. That is going to be the biggest thing. You're going to see several quarterbacks play. They are going to throw the playbook out there and make sure that they get some points on the board, that they start to feel comfortable, that they feel good about themselves. I mean, this is a team that went 4-8 last year, and they are used to he went like 8, 9 wins, 10 wins for the first 3 seasons. And I think in a spot like this, they are going to absolutely score and score at will. Houston Baptist is not good. Why this went down, I am not certain.
So we disagree here. I'm not going to play this game. I don't like this game, but if I had to, I would hold my nose, I would cover my mouth, and I would swallow as hard as I can, and I would take Houston Baptist because of the things you said. All of those quarterbacks that they're trying to figure out if they're good or not aren't going to be good. If they were all good, they'd be playing somewhere else, and they wouldn't be playing at North Texas, okay?
You got a valid point there.
And so I think there's going to be cohesion issues. I think there's going to be – this is just a lot of points for a team that I don't think is really good. Now, I know they're playing a team that I think is really bad, and they could easily cover this line if everything kind of seems to click and go right. I just don't think North Texas is going to be that level of a good team to see them beat somebody by 4 scores. It's just not in the cards for me this year. I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't want to touch this game because I would absolutely not be faithful in putting money down on, Houston Baptist. That'll never happen.
They went 5-7 last year. They lost 37-14 at Sam Houston State at the end of the year. They lost to Nichols 48-27. They were able to put up some points.
Yeah.
That's where it could get a little squirrely. I mean, they lost by 2 points at UTEP to start the season last year.
There aren't many schools where I think North Texas should be a four-score favorite over anybody in the country.
That's a valid point. That is a valid point. Robert said this is a tune-up for North Texas. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not recommending that you bet it, but if you feel like it, that's the way that I would lean.
So
that's how I would go
there. Yeah.
All right. The primetime game on ESPN.
Our backyard, baby.
You got it. Arkansas State at Memphis. Rotation 237, 238. This is 8 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. And we are in the Memphis area. And this is, they sold out. They sold out all 4,500 tickets.
I know. I really thought about trying to get a ticket. And I'm sure I could scalp one because I don't even think it'd be that much, even though it's only 4,500 of them.
It's sold out today, so I'm not sure. I don't know what
this is exactly how I want to watch a game, though. Please let me go into a stadium where I'm the only person in a section. Yeah. Nobody else is around me.
Well, and see, how crazy is this that it wasn't that long ago at Memphis where you could actually do that?
Yes, I know. I enjoyed those days in the fall.
Yes, those were
those are gone now. Those are gone. A lot of other people around me all the time.
So with this, Arkansas State currently, the total of the game sits at 74, 73.5, 73. You can find it multiple different spots. Memphis is favored by 19 at Pinnacle, but then across the board, everywhere else, it is 18.5. Now, it opened at 14.5. It got bet all the way up to 21 at one point.
Whew. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, it was at 21 before. Now, obviously, these lines came out a little bit early, but it was before Kenneth Gainwell, the star running back for Memphis, decided that he was going to opt out of the season. Now, Memphis has lost Mike Norvell, and they lost Kenneth Gainwell, and they lost Adam Fuller, their defensive coordinator. I still like the Memphis talent, but you and I have talked about this multiple times already. Brady White as a quarterback, yes, puts up fantastic numbers, all that, but Mike Norvell was an absolute quarterback whisperer with this guy, and you don't really know what you're going to get from him because he's adept to, kind of throwing the football to the wrong team sometimes. So, and sometimes he's missing throws, and it just depends on what day it is as to what Brady White you're going to get.
It's not just missing throws or turning the ball over. He seems to play in quicksand or on AstroTurf. He's either everything is clicking and it's going exactly the way he wants it, and they are running fast and they are feeling loose, and it is just this machine is driving. Or when it starts going wrong, it just seems like the wheels fall off of the car and they go wrong big for him. And that's why this guy scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. Oh,
and Mike Norvell, I think, is the man who was always able to pull him out of that quicksand. And if I'd have seen any other coach doing that, I'd feel a lot better about this Memphis team. than that. And I actually respect Arkansas State. I think Arkansas State is a pretty good football team.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
They're not the level of Memphis, but they are a good football team.
And they have got two good quarterbacks. You got Logan Bonner, you got Lane Hatcher, both of which have been really successful there. Logan Bonner, it looks like, is going to start coming off of an injury from last year. The question here, I mean, what scares me about Arkansas State is they lost over 2,500 receiving yards and over 29 touchdowns between the two receivers that they lost from last year. They were both all Sunbelt guys.
Yep.
However, Blake Anderson's offenses never have a problem. That's never an issue.
I think they're going to be able to score on Memphis.
I think they will be able to score some. I do have a lot of faith in Mike McIntyre, Memphis's defensive coordinator.
True.
I think he's going to be good enough to slow them down a little bit. I think that Memphis is going to slow down and try and figure some things out as well. I like the under 74 here. If you can get the 74, make sure you get under the 74 because that's my favorite part here. Which, by the way, Tori jumps in. He said, "Hey guys, I need a nice parlay from you today." Now I will go ahead and tell you this. I don't typically bet parlays. I tend to lose them more than
most people tend to lose them, Gary.
Do. Yeah.
Anybody who says they win a lot of parlays they're just wrong.
Yeah. If I
would see statistical data,
I would just do like a good parlay to do for the entire weekend. I think I'd probably do like the military academy parlay. I'd probably roll with Army and Navy. Like
if I had to parlay anything, it would all be in the Army game, and it would just be Army in the under.
That's not a bad idea.
That would be my parlay. Is I think Army's gonna score, but they're just gonna score really slow. It's gonna take them a long time, and because of that, MTSU just won't be on the field enough to score.
There you go. Kurt Gray said, "Take Arkansas State plus 19." Yeah, that's the way that I'm going. You know, to each their own. I think that Memphis is going to slow them down a little bit, but I also think that Memphis will be slowed down a little bit. They're going to try and figure out who their playmakers are, et cetera. And I don't know that I trust Brady White. We've only got a few minutes left. We got, like 3 minutes left. So let's go ahead and dive into these next two.
Okay.
253, 254 at Stephen F. Austin at UTEP. That is the 9 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPN Extra. So that's basically going to fill in your Pac-12 after dark. The line sits at UTEP minus, it's pretty much 6 across the board now. It's still at 7 at Bet Online, but the juice is plus 105 if you want to go over 7. And man, it's Stephen F. Austin, 69% of the bets right now. Like people do not like UTEP whatsoever. But I will tell you this. I got Sam Houston State and Stephen F. Austin confused. Sam Houston State is really, really good. Stephen F. Austin went 3-9 in the FCS last year. They are not a very good football team, but they won a few games. If I was going to do this, I'd probably go against the public here. I'd probably go with UTEP because this is probably the only game that UTEP is going to win all year.
I know this is a late game. I can't do this. I just can't. Good luck to you guys if y'all get on this game. I wouldn't put one nickel on either one of these teams. I don't care the number. I don't care the line. I can't do it. They're just so bad. They're just so bad.
It is it's a fun after everything is done kind of game. And that's what I'm talking about. So
I understand that. I get that.
Yeah.
All right. I have to be up a lot. Just riding. I'm just going to ride a wave and blindly pick somebody because this is, and if I had to pick, I'd probably pick with the house. Just if I'm blindly picking, I'd see where most of the action is going and just go the other way because I have no feel for either of these teams other than the fact that I think they're both terrible at football.
Oh, absolutely. You're 100% right about that. All right. So finally, to close us out, let's talk about the Monday game. That is Labor Day night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. You got 243, 244 BYU at Navy. It sits currently at BYU -2 pretty much across the board. Bet365 has got it -1.5. But I mean, look, the total was at 56.5. It has been bet all the way down to 48.5 or 49. People love the under on this one for whatever reason, and they seem to love BYU. 53% of the bets are on BYU. Now, that has shifted a little bit since the beginning of the week because at one point it was like 65% of the tickets were on.
But that's because BYU was +2 at that time.
Exactly.
So that's the majority of these tickets on BYU came in when you were getting positive odds or a pick number.
Yes, you are correct. I'll go on and tell you that I love Navy in the spot. Like, yes, they lose Malcolm Perry, they lose a lot from that offense, but that defense is still stout, really, really stout. BYU lost all 4 of their leading receivers from last year. They just lost their tight end, who was Matt Bushman, who is one of their leaders on the team this year. I think he meant a lot more to that team. Zach Wilson, I love Zach Wilson. He's, he's basically, I don't know what you would call it. He's dual threat. He's really fun. I think he's like a top 15 quarterback in the country if he's got weapons around him. Like I'm telling you, he's really, really good. But let's see.
This year's top 15 that are playing, or top 15 out of all the schools that could have played?
Out of all the schools that could have played.
Holy
he is that good.
Hell.
Yeah. However, there are spots where, I think they're going to be a little sloppy. I think things are going to be kind of crazy. I like Navy in this spot. I think Navy's going to win the game outright. I would take the 1.5 or 2 just to be on the safe side. But yeah, I like Navy. I like Navy a lot on Monday night. Let's see. Hold on. Let's jump into the comments here. David, he jumps in. Every analyst or sharp is on MTSU. It's got me thinking Army. ZZ Dina said, do you guys have a parlay? I'd said that I'm going with the military academies, take Army and Navy. And what was yours? Army and the under
in the Army game.
Michael Jordan said MTSU does not play the triple option teams. Army is going to give them fits. And let's see. Dina said, what do you guys think about the Arkansas team total under? I have not seen the team total for Arkansas State, but I will tell you this: I would likely go under whatever it is if it's under 30.
See if I can find it.
I bet if it's under 27, I'd probably take under that, because I think Arkansas State will probably score, I'd say 3 touchdowns and a field goal, so like 24 points. So anything under 24, or anything under 25, I guess I'd be comfortable with, because I don't think they're going to score a ton on Mike McIntyre. So you find a team total.
No,
I'm gonna have to make sure I start pulling those up for this Saturday game, or for the Saturday.
I'll tell you, a lot of people have called out the Memphis first half line. That's 10.5. I kind of do like that.
Yeah, okay.
I think Memphis could get out fast on them.
Michael Jordan, the GOAT, jumps in. Army and the under, Memphis over, solid 3 pick. There you go.
Yeah, we need to start looking up the team totals before we get in, because that's going to be something that we'll want.
Hey, we are steadily learning on the fly, and we will continue to grow this show every single week. Obviously, Monday we'll be doing the opening line show. Tuesday night we will have our pick show at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Eastern. Thursdays we'll do news and notes, question and answer, all that kind of stuff, talking about line movements, etc. And that'll be at 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Eastern. And then, of course, every Saturday right here on the Sportsbook Review YouTube page, we will be doing this at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, to get you guys ready for the Saturdays that are going to be hopefully full of college football games. Kurt Gray said, I'm on BYU, not fading you guys. Just trust the BYU defense more. Totally understand.
Hey, no, so you wouldn't be fading me. I actually am worried about this game. I like Navy because I just like betting on their military academies. I get very worried about betting against BYU. Those guys are 30. All right. They're grown adult men at BYU. They are not 18 to 20-year-olds. And
True.
That's the thing that scares me about playing against BYU.
You are correct about that. So I feel good about Navy, but that's just me. That's just me. That's what I do. That's what my numbers say. That's how I'm leaning. I'm a roll with that. You guys have been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for jumping in on the chat. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, liking the video, telling your friends about it, all that good stuff. You can find more from us all season long over at sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. We have got a great crew, great staff, whatever, behind the scenes, and the writers and whatnot that are over there are fantastic. Go and do yourself a favor, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. You can find all the odds, the best books, etc. Go and do yourself a favor. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Chris, is there anything else we need to hit on?
That's it, brother.
That is it. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you again on Monday.